Record. Okay, so I believe we're live. Liam, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, good. We've just been having some tech issues, haven't we? And it looks like it's happening again. I keep freezing. So hopefully you can hear me and everyone else can hear me.
I can hear you fine.
But it's just my ugly mug you won't be seeing much of if it keeps pixelating. But so no, we met at a paint show last year, and I saw your what's his name? Your One Can? Wally, yeah. Wally sort of jumping around, and your stand really stood out. And
like I said to you just before we came on, I've been trying to get him involved. Unfortunately, he hasn't made the cut this time.
No.
So maybe if we rearrange for the future, Wally might make an appearance if we're lucky.
I've heard he's camera shy, so maybe that's why he didn't want to. Yeah. I'm just going to let some people in because I did invite people to the Zoom, and sometimes people come in, sometimes they don't. But yeah, I was impressed when we spoke, especially when you said, I said if you got some old sort of spindles and, they need a bit of knotting doing and you have to use multiple products. And you said, just use our One Can. I was like, no way, no chance. It's not possible. You were like, yeah, definitely possible. And, like you said, a first coat, maybe it may grin a little bit, but trust the process and build it up. It's quick drying, and it goes solid. And you've sent me some samples. I need to try it out. And I know you've sent, we've done a competition recently, so I really appreciate you doing a competition and also sending some samples out. So I'll be interested to hear what comes back. It was basically, I've done a little poll and it almost seems too good to be true, your product. Am I wrong?
Look, I'll say, look, it's good. It's got some really, really appealing properties. You've mentioned there, the surface dry, touch dry, recoat time. It's got really, really good adhesion. It's not miracle paint. No. There's got to be. We're all in a world where, if you want the best finish, levels of preparation are needed. You need to give, whether it's, Bradite, another paint brand, whether that's something from B&Q, like one of the low level ranges at B&Q or anything like that. You've got to prepare the surface. Look, if it was miracle paint, you wouldn't be talking to me. Yeah. So, like I said, it does sound almost too good to be true, and we do, we in terms of some of the substrates that we say that we can gain adhesion to, it is vast. I'd probably say, I know one of the questions that got sent in were what are its limitations. We have tested this extensively. Plasterboard, softwood, tannalized timber, marine, regular ply, aged concrete, new galvanized steel, aged galvanized steel, powder coatings, plastic windows, plastic doors, and I spoke with one of our chief R&D chemists earlier on today, and the only thing he said it didn't stick to was a crash mat that stuntmen and women use. Right. Don't ask me how he's ended up testing that. I don't know what he does at a weekend, but apparently that is one of very few things that it won't adhere to. The only other thing as well is anti-vandal paints. It's due to anything with like a high slip surface. You probably could get adhesion, but we wouldn't make that claim that you can use it over an anti-graffiti paint. So crash mats, I don't know how many people paint crash mats.
Oh, quite regular, most weekends.
and obviously anti-vandal paints. I know one of the main things, I know you touched on it just briefly when we started, was the stain locking capabilities of the One Can. And you've quite rightly said there on the first coat, what will happen is you will get it sort of reactivates the stain. So whether this is tanning within timber, watermarks, nicotine stains, anything like that, apply the first coat, and you will all probably go, that chap from Bradite said that it was going to do this, and it will, and there will maybe an element of, oh, hang on, but you know, you rightly said there, trust the process. So the first coat activates it, the second coat locks and blocks that staining, and then it will stop any further migration of said stain, whatever you're trying to cover. And then third and final coat will finish it. There is the one thing I'd probably say that with the One Can in particular is it is one can, not one coat. We do sometimes get, you know, and you know, I understand that it can be a little bit misinterpreted, so to speak. But we would always recommend, especially with stains, a 3-coat paint system.
Yeah. So in terms of stains, are we talking like, so for a domestic job, we'd be using it purely on woodwork, right? I know you can go on windows, UPVC windows and plastics, and you know.
Yeah, so any sort of we'll sort of tackle the plastic windows, so to speak. You know, it will be, like I said, there has got to be a level of preparation. Yeah. You know, it don't have to. I'm not saying get an 80 grit sandpaper out and take your fingertips off.
Yeah.
You know, it is 120 grit sandpaper, clean degrease. You know, if you are really, really concerned in terms of getting the adhesion, when we first launched it, we had this thing where you apply the One Can in white first, because that offers the best adhesion to, you know, some of the tricky surfaces. Like I said, you know, we've got, you know, aged gloss, ceramic tiles, formica, melamine, you know, guttering, you know, all these substrates that are notoriously difficult to gain adhesion to. The One Can will do it, given the correct preparation. Yeah,
so it's the same, basically the same as what we would do anyway. I mean, you know, there's always talk in the group about water-based paints, you know, for woodwork, and you know, everyone's trying to move off from oil or whatever else, you know, for obvious reasons. But even with like mixing and matching and different ones I've tried, I won't mention any brand names, but you still find you've got to get a primer on, and it's very rare you can get away with one top coat. You know, it's two kind of, and you know, manufacturers say that as well. It's two top coat for durability.
Yeah, like I know. Probably listening in, you know, I'm sitting here saying 3 coats, and most people like, well, 3 coats seems a bit excessive, but like you've rightly pointed out there, you know, more often than not, you put a primer on, followed by 2 top coats. So it's nothing out of the ordinary.
No.
The only difference is that we offer all that capability out of One Can.
Yeah.
You know, and the success that we've had in terms of the Bradite One Can, the eggshell in particular, you know, that's led us on to the matte version. You know, we've had really, really good feedback, you know, and you've said that it almost sounds too good to be true. You know, there may be people out there that will find something that it might not go on. But like I said, I can assure you that the amount of testing that's gone into it, we've almost tried to think of anything and everything. We've got a test. We've had a test running now for about 2.5 years. We've applied the One Can to a brick, just a standard building brick, and put it in water, just to see what would happen, just to try and make it fail. And the only thing that's happened really on this brick is you've just got a little bit of discoloration on the coating that's been submerged in water, but the rest of the coating.
And what about in terms of, obviously the old oil stuff, you know, with yellow, that's obvious now, but how does it stand up in terms of whiteness, you know, how the brightness of it, because a lot of talk is about
so obviously we do a standard white. And obviously the One Can can also be tinted into RAL and British standards. So if you want in a RAL white or a British standard white, then that's available as well. What you'll naturally get with water-based finishes is they will naturally hold the colour a lot longer. You know, we've all been into those properties where we've seen a radiator that's been painted in an oil-based and it's bright yellow or an off cream, so to speak. But yeah, it would be the same sort of, if you were going over it with the One Can, I'd still recommend, I'm going to sound like a broken record constantly, so I will apologise.
No.
Preparation is going to be key again. Sand, clean. First coat's going to be important. You may get a little bit of bleed through, but once again, trust the process.
Yeah.
And then 2 full coats over the top.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. And, even just as we're speaking out loud, for any jobs, high-end stuff, but for like rentals or ones where you got to have a quick turnaround, with the drying time, like say touch dry half hour, recoat 1 hour. So that's an advantage as well.
Yeah, look, we live in a world now where it needed to be dry yesterday, and you needed to be off the job. You needed to be off the job 3 days ago. And the One Can. I'm not saying that it allows you to cut corners, but it makes it a little bit more achievable, and due to the hardware in film, that once it is dry and good, that realistically you're not going back. And like I said, with the option now that we've got with the matte version, you've got a really nice little complement for walls and trim, where when we first launched the One Can in the eggshell, it was seen more of a trim. It was seen for more trim, external trim, like we've mentioned, plastic windows, guttering, external furniture. Yeah.
And would you use it as an emulsion as well, like an all over?
You could, with the matte version, you could do. So the matte version, you're probably looking at about a sheen level of about 5% there and thereabouts. It will appear slightly higher in darker shades. So if you go in, say for instance, you've got a green, it may just appear slightly higher, but it will complement the Bradite One Can eggshell.
Yeah. I'm just seeing if there's any questions on the live stream. So is it purely a finishing product, or can it be used like bin's a bin?
So with that, the beauty of it is if you want to apply another coating over the top, whether that's a competitor's product, you can do it. But this is the thing, is for me sitting here, that wouldn't be good advice. Saying, well, use the One Can and then buy another tin of paint to then overcoat it. You've got everything that you need out of the tin itself. So I think in terms of the answer is yes, but from my point of view and real world situations, we all know that money's a little bit tight for everybody at the moment. So me sitting here saying use the One Can then buy a top coat, it's not the more sound advice that I'd give. I'm confident that the finish that can be achieved would probably sway you from going out buying other brands. You'll probably have a few people commenting saying, of course he's going to say that, he works there. But that's how confident I am in the product itself.
Let me just see if there's any more. Okay, so if I'm painting a fascia, some bare wood, but not all of it, can I prime bare wood, then 2 coat the rest of it? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So a little bit of bare timber, some that's not.
Yeah.
So if you're looking down that route, so fascia board, it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be a level of preparation. What you'll probably get on the bare timber itself is probably a higher porosity on that surface. So any bare areas, I'd probably say just thin down the eggshell or the matte version, depending. With 5-10% addition of clean water. Look, I know we're not chemists, so we're not going to be weighing out what 10% is. We all do it by eye. So on the bare areas, thin down coat, just get something on there. And then you'll just be able to go full coat, full coat, full coat.
What else do we have? How good is the opacity in white? Do you need to base it out with an undercoat if you're going from a colour to white? So say you've got some, I don't know what, some random like brown skirting boards.
We'll go worst case scenario. So say black, we'll go in black to white. look,
Yeah.
we've all been on jobs where we've had tricky colour changes. You know, white from black to white's the most extreme. You know, I would expect in 2 coats you'd be getting near full opacity. A third, like I've said, it is a 3-coat system.
Yeah.
Third will be needed. In really, really extreme cases, I don't think, if the colour change is so dramatic, I think we all know that another one may be needed. And I don't think that's unreasonable. And it's not saying that the opacity is not good, but I just think we have to, there's almost a manage of expectations in terms of if we're going extreme white or black white.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Can you give me 2 seconds? I just got to take a call. This sounds really unprofessional, but my son's called me about 5 times. 2 seconds. Hello. Right. Okay. All right. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay. Cheers. Bye-bye. Liam, do you go through a couple of questions? It's something I must urgently do for my son.
Yeah.
You tell it's live, can't you?
No, it's okay.
And I'm literally going to be 2 minutes, and I'll be back.
Yeah. So one of the questions that Gary's already posted to us is where can you buy the One Can? So the One Can product is predominantly available in all brewers and Kent Black Sills. They will more often than not stock the full range, whether that's the One Can in particular or other products that are in the range. Another question that was asked is the price of the product. So what I'll do is I'll sort of do it on a tinted. So all Bradite products can be tinted in Rowland British standards. So a 5-litre tin of the OC64 eggshell Bradite One Can would be 97.17 tinted. A 2.5 will be 52.84, and a 1 litre is 26.41. We do have some standard colours in the One Can. So your standard colours, 5 litre once again, is 92.31, £50.04 for a 2.5, and 1 litre is £25.02. Another question that got posted was the square metre per litre. So we work on roughly about 11 square metres per litre. Obviously, that will change depending on the surface that you're working on. So if you've got, say, for instance, you are painting concrete or anything like that, concrete walls, I'll probably say you're going to look at probably about 9. Because about 9 square metres per litre, because you are the surface porosity is going to be a lot higher.
I'm back.
Like I said, welcome back.
Cheers for covering for me, Liam.
No, you're all right. Have you just been out and bought some One Can?
Yes, I have actually. I'm just here.
Brilliant.
Sorry, yeah, I know you were going through the questions.
It's all right. Yeah, I'm just mentioning there the coverage per litre, and just saying that it will predominantly vary on substrate. So if you've got something that's uncoated, I mentioned concrete, you're probably going to be looking at about 9 square metres per litre. But that's just basically just due to the surface porosity.
Yeah, excellent. So let me just check live if there's any other comments. Sorry to drop you in it there.
Yeah, right.
Adam, how much is it? Have you covered that one?
I've just covered that. I can go through that again. So what I'll tie it in with. I've already covered this, but our main stockists are brewers and Kent Black Sills. We're also in Julep stores as well.
Yeah.
One thing that I failed to mention was if you go onto the Bradite website, search Stockist, put your postcode in, that will give you your nearest stockist of Bradite. So a tinted 5-litre tin of Bradite will be £97.17. A 2.5 is 52.84, and a 1 litre is 26.41. That's all tinted to Rowland British standards.
Yep.
The standard colours, white, black. 5 litres, you're looking at 92.31. 2.5 litres, £50 and 4p, and a 1 litre, 25 and 2p.
Okay. Right. Let's see if there's any more. I won't say what Adam said. He's swearing. Nothing bad. I believe we've covered it all. If anyone's got any questions, just post it now. And
I don't know how big spraying is with your group, but the product is sprayable. So with a conventional sprayer, you're looking at about an addition of clean water of about 5 to 15%. Tip size of about 2 mil, and your PSI of about 60. We do have this information on our technical data sheet, but I will say that there is an element of sort of the more guidelines, not exacts. So there will be an element of not playing around with it, but finding what works best for you. So like say, for instance, with the airless, you might get away with not thinning it down at all, as long as your PSI is up. But what I'd probably say is with both either airless or conventional, you're looking at a 10% addition of clean water. Just to get it through the gun. The one thing I will say is if you are spraying, once you've finished, clean your lines out quick, because you know it surface dry in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, sorry. So if that stays in your lines, you're gonna be ruining your line. So not like to scare anybody, but if you nip to Greg's or go and put kettle on, you know, just be warned that it might be stuck when you come back.
Yeah. I just think, you know, like I said, you've sent me a sample to try, so I'm definitely trying it on my next project. You know, areas I can see it helping massively. It's just if you're doing, say, just a bedroom and you want it to be a quick turnaround, you know, drying times are essential. You know, drying times hold you back basically. So if you can recoat pretty quick, that sounds amazing. Also the threaded spindles, you know, which need multiple coats, but also multiple products. Yeah, I can see that being beneficial. And in fact, I just done a job recently, some wood paneling, which went white, and I was using various products to get it to white. So, you know, for jobs like that, it just sounds.
Yeah, I think as well, with the One Can in particular, and this sort of like new direction that the brand's going in, it is to make it easier for everybody, you know. So like I've mentioned the One Can mat. We also have a single pack water-based floor paint called the Bradite flooring, and these three products in particular all follow the same suit. You know, high adhesion, quick surface dry, quick recoat times. You know, we're trying to make it easier for people. You know, like you've mentioned there. You know, in other brands, these primers, top coats. You know, you're putting 3 or 4 products on, and let's all be honest, we've all been caught out with it in the past. You know, you sat there with 3 or 4 primers and an adhesion primer coat. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to really sort of make it arrow straight and quite simple to follow. As long as, like I mentioned earlier, as long as you follow some quite low level preparation in terms of cleaning and abrading the surface, you know, the One Can will perform as expected, and you will then find that you will continuously use it. I was just as skeptical as probably some of you guys are going to be when they were making these great claims. But I can assure you, it is a fantastic product.
Yeah. Steve just commented saying, a bit late now, I've just finished my spindles. Sorry, Steve. But what I was going to say, final question from me would be, you know, there's always talk about scrub ratings and all this kind of stuff, and I've never had a customer in my life say, oh, what scrub rating is that? Emulsion or woodwork stuff. But it seems to be more about you know, a marketing from manufacturers and also talk amongst us decorators. But you know, how does it stand? I guess people are going to be asking that question. To me, I just, you know,
So the scrub the thing is when scrubs are mentioned, or wipeability or cleanability.
Yeah.
Right. Me personally, my scrubbability, wipeability, or cleanability is going to be different to yours. You know, we all have different levels of cleaning. Mine aren't great, but in terms of direct sort of scrub resistance, so we have. Have you ever? Are you familiar with the test itself, or
no?
So
If I'm being honest,
the scrub rating test, without it might send a few people to sleep, but I'll explain anyway. So the scrub rating is so the product that you want to scrub, whether it's the DP9 eggshell or use the Bradite products in particular, is to get cast onto a piece of paper. You get almost like a back of a sponge, so like something that's quite abrasive. You allow that to dry for a period of either 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 2 weeks. You put that onto a machine, and basically what happens is the sponge is on a bar, and it just literally just scuffs the surface.
Right.
When you're in the lab, it is probably one of the most annoying noises that you can hear, because these things go on for 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 scrubs. So that's 9,000 times over the top, and it's on a metal plate as well. So it's like. So the One Can in particular, to answer your question, is we are getting scrubs over about 8,000.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm not saying, you know, let's all go out with our cleaning products and try and demolish any coatings that we've got on there.
Yeah.
But in-house testing, scrub testing, we're achieving very, very high results.
Yeah. Which is fantastic. I mean, I've heard of different products and their scrub rating. And that sounds high, you know, in comparison to what I've heard as well.
I think what probably happens is we get to a certain level. I think everyone in the lab's gone a little bit crazy with the noise, so it probably just gets turned off.
8,000 a day. I've had enough.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worse than my cabinet painting job. I was doing a scrub rating testing. No, I believe no more questions. I'm sure we've covered everything, haven't we? I know I sent you a load of questions.
Yeah, the only one that we've probably maybe not covered was is, can we match the Fowler and Ball? We would never directly match to Fowler and Ball or other competitors or other paint brands out there. What we'd probably say is like I've mentioned, we do have Rallum British standards. If you are using a particular brand and you have their colour, I'll probably say the best way to look is get a RAL card and the brand's colour card. Try and get a visual match or best that you can. I know that some stockists and paint or decorating merchants will offer that, but us directly, we won't match other brands' colours.
And one final question, actually, I've got another one. Who would believe we could talk half an hour about paint, huh? But certain brands are like a hybrid where your brushes are just ruined.
Yeah.
What is in terms of to ruin your brushes? Is it one of those where you've got to use a product to clean it out?
No, it's with it being predominantly a water-based, or it is water-based. All I'd say is once you finish using the brush, you either, you know, we've all done it, leaf brushing your paint pot, you know, make a brew, go Greggs. But what I would say is if you'll get away with wrapping it for a couple of days. If you leave it out in open air, then yes, you are gonna ruin your brush. But you know, most of us will, once you finish using, nip to sink, wash it out, give it a good clean. You might find, you know, we've all been there where we haven't cleaned his brushes out properly, and
I've got a bag full now.
Most people have probably got a van full of them. So yeah, it cleans out. There's no need for buying thinners or anything else like that. It's nothing fancy. Just water.
But just joking aside, when you have got expensive brushes and you know, certain ones do really just, you know, you've got to use almost a mid-range or brush to kind of use that product, because you're not going to get it right again.
And let's be honest, no one likes sacrificing brushes.
exactly.
You almost start looking at them going, oh, which one?
Yeah.
It's been good to me, that one.
Yeah, he's got to go. I've had him.
He's got to go. Yeah, like downstairs. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, Liam, I don't believe we've got any more questions. We've covered it all. I just wanted to get you on, and I'm getting a few companies on, just speaking to people face to face, because it's all well and good me sort of sampling products and doing a video, but people might say, oh, you know them, you're biased or whatever, but it's just good to get honest answers about the product, and I can just see it being really useful in many situations, which us decorators want to save time, and if we save time we can earn more money.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the thing is, Gary, is we do have other finishers within the Bradite range, and if we need to later down the line, touch on a few of those.
Yeah.
I've mentioned the matte version of the One Can. I've also touched on the DP9, the single pack floor paint, but we do also offer a 2-pack epoxy floor paint as well. So if these are things that are relevant to the group, we can get back in touch, and we can try and sort of spread the brand a little bit wider,
of course,
and not just the One Can in particular. Although by the sounds of it, the One Can goes everywhere.
No, it's brilliant. And again, I appreciate you running a competition. We've done it over last weekend, and just building up more brand awareness, and we'll have it for a forever resource. Like our chat and stuff, I recorded it, so I dare say people will look back and it's a point of reference about it. So I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem at all, Gary.
Sorry I had to run off earlier.
No, it's all right.
My son,
all right.
I'll tell you what, my son was he's gone to the cinema, right? And he called up and said, they won't let me in. I reckon I'm 15. He's like 6'1". So I had to quickly take a picture of his passport. But I'd rather be straight up and honest with everyone. But that's the reason I'll run off. But anyway, cheers again, and nice to see everybody.
Yeah, nice to see you too, Gary.
Yeah, catch up soon.
See you later.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.